Okay, so if we're ready, I think we'll finally start this shindig. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the rude, the crude, the social unacceptable, It's Conscious Effort podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Hardwick. Alongside me is Kendall Bratton. Kyla Green's hiding over there behind the board. Carlos Sanchez will be here with us later. And today, our podcast guests are two of our favorite nerd culture connoisseurs. They are Mr. Dakota Mullins, Mr. John Myers, better known as DM Brad and Showtime. They are from the Spoiler Alert Network. Before we get in too deep, I got to remind you, you can find every episode of the Conscious Effort podcast at consciouseffortcreative.com, and you can like us, you can follow us, you can subscribe to us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
I have something to say about that.
Yes.
Also on TikTok, Conscious Effort.
Oh, that's right,
Creative.
TikTok as well.
Yep.
We're trying to build our followers. So.
We're broadening our horizons.
Yes.
That is right. Spreading our wings.
Yeah.
Variety.
We're gonna fly.
So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you guys now. We want to go by Showtime, right?
Indeed.
You came all the way up here from Santa Claus today to join us, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
A little bit of a trek here.
Quite.
For those of you that are not from southern Indiana, there really is a town called Santa Claus. That's not a joke. It's a real thing.
Indeed.
So let's just dive right in. The Spoiler Alert Network, for people that aren't familiar with it, what is it? How would you describe it to somebody? What is it you guys do?
You go ahead.
Yeah, well, basically,
Passing that one.
yeah, pass it off to me. So basically, yeah, anything nerd content, gaming, comic books. Occasionally, we used to do some wrestling content as well. Anything by nerds for the nerds, basically, is how we describe ourselves. So, I mean, we make content for anybody that's in the nerd culture. You know, movies, like I said, comic books. Anything
Nice.
like that.
What about Pokemon?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about Pokemon earlier while we were setting everything up.
Yeah.
You mentioned the gaming thing. You guys have more than one channel, don't you?
We have the
Yes.
main, the Spoiler Alert Network channel on YouTube, and the TSAN Gaming, TSAN is the acronym. So we're focused on gaming on that channel mainly. Mm-hmm. So we got a lot of different stuff we're working on that one.
When we were leading up this podcast, you told me that you guys were coming up on a bit of a milestone date, like an anniversary for you guys, right?
May 6th, we started, that'll be our 3-year anniversary.
Yes.
Basically.
2019 was
Yeah.
the date, the year we started, May 6th.
Man, congrats,
Amazing.
guys. That's
So-
awesome.
Yeah.
If I would have known that, I would have brought balloons, and I don't even like balloons. Seriously, I'm like scared of them.
Kind of afraid of balloons
Everyone's
popping.
gonna
That's
use that
right.
against me now. Yeah.
My wife has the same fear.
Are you serious?
Not even joking.
It's not clowns.
Oh yeah, it's clowns and balloons
Yeah,
for
it's
her.
not clowns for me.
Besties.
Ooh.
She went on vacation last year, and I just bought a bunch of balloons because I can never have them at home.
Oh my god.
It's your one shot taking advantage of it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. My daughter wanted balloons, so we got balloons.
There you go. There you go.
Aw.
So you guys said you started this 3 years ago. How did it come together? How did you guys meet and start this thing?
Actually, it started way longer ago than that. Actually, I was in a media class in high school, and I was writing like music reviews, things like that. Austin Jones, he went to school with me, and I did an interview with him even. So I would write articles in my media class, and then after I graduated, I got into college. Basically started a Facebook page up. It was called the Spoiler Alert Review. I would review comic book movies and TV shows and that kind of thing. So basically, I was doing that for a while, and after a long time, you know, life kind of got in the way. So I was like, well, I don't really have time for this anymore. And then, you know, I was inspired by actually a scene from the movie The Greatest Showman. I don't know if you guys seen that.
I've heard of it. I've not.
Yeah.
I've not seen it though.
I've seen a couple clips from it, but I've never actually watched it.
I've only ever seen part of it when I was over at a friend's house. He had it playing in the background, so I'm vaguely familiar with it.
Like the bar scene where the main character P.T. Barnum is like propositioning with some guy. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but they got together and did their own thing. So Showtime here and another guy that used to work with us on the channel, I met them through a couple different jobs that I worked at, and I basically asked them, hey, do you want to be involved with this? And they kind of, after a while, some convincing, they kind of agreed to it. Then we started up, and then we decided start making videos. I used to write, like I said, review articles.
Right.
And, they basically came to me one day, they talked, and they're like, you know what, it's 2019, nobody reads anymore. So let's do some videos, and that along with like big YouTube channels and other companies like Rooster Teeth.
That was one we mentioned in previous discussions.
Yeah, so watching their stuff, I kind of was like, yeah, let's do some YouTube videos, and that's where it all started, really.
Now, Showtime, I know Brad here was just saying that it's hard for me to call you Brad because I don't know you as Brad.
It's easy for me.
Yeah.
Well, what's his name?
Well,
His name's Dakota, but he's better known on the Spoiler Network as DM Brad.
so
You want to tell that story real quick?
yeah, so actually that came from, like I said, I worked with him. I worked with the other guy, Dirt Sheet is his screen name.
Okay. That sounds like a very wrestling name.
It was very wrestling.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense now.
Yeah. He. So I worked with him at a Denny's when I was working when I was in college. So I met him and we kind of clicked, and then I met him at another job, Showtime, and.
We could talk about it now. Neither one of us work there anymore. Fuck them.
True. Yeah.
Say it. Where was it at? Where?
We worked at OFS together.
Oh, nice.
What is OFS?
In Huntingburg?
Yeah, in Huntingburg.
Okay.
Yeah. Office
Yeah.
furniture supply.
Okay. All right.
okay.
All right.
Yep. So.
Nice.
So. Literally, the first sentence he said to me as soon as I walked up to him. Somebody told me, "Hey, go ask him for whatever." I don't know what was going on, but I walked up to him. He's like, "Hey, would you be all right if I called you Brad? You look like a Brad." I'm like, all right.
That sounds like, I don't know you, but just meeting you tonight, that sounds like something that you would say.
He's got a Brad
So-
face.
So
Very, very Brad face.
He really does. You're right. Okay, go ahead.
So then DM. That's actually my real life initials.
I just now put that together.
Yeah. So and also Dirt Sheet, the other guy, he made a good point. Basically, it's a Dungeons and Dragons reference. The DM. So I started the page.
That was what I
run the
wanted.
show. You know.
Okay.
So yeah. That's
Yeah, that was
basically
what-
where DM came from, and then Brad. That's just what they call me, so I went by that. So
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
That's not just a show thing. Like, he's just Brad to me. That's what I call
Brad
him.
now.
all the time.
Do you have him as Brad in your cell phone?
Yes.
Nice.
It used to be Bradley Jenkins.
Bradley Jenkins.
Brad, you
Used to
made
be.
you made up a last name for him
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I love it.
Used to be.
Yep.
So do you just call him Brad Mullins now?
Just Brad.
No, he's just Brad.
Brad.
He's just
Just one
Brad.
name.
Bradley,
Like Kobe, Shaq.
Yeah.
He's just Brad.
Barkley.
Beyonce.
Whatever.
Yeah, just one name.
Yeah.
Dude,
my
that's like a
God.
status symbol. Just one name.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
that's some real shit there.
I was talking with a friend here recently about that. She was wanting to know how she could change her Facebook profile to just her first name because she said Madonna can do it. And I'm like, probably have to be Madonna for one.
You probably have to be verified.
And I think what it was is you
Gotta have the
actually,
blue check.
yeah, I think that you
Blue
have
check.
to. Well, I think you have to have a business or your page
Or
has to
fan
be
page.
under.
Yeah, probably.
Because I think you can do that for bands, obviously. So I wonder if you could just do it with one name. But I thought that was kind of funny, Brad. You ought to just make a new Facebook profile and just
Brad.
or like a page, just Brad.
Yeah, that's what I go by. I don't really post on it, but I have a TikTok, and that's what I go by on there, DM Brad. So
Nice. We'll be sure to follow you on there then and keep up with your content.
We gotta look for Brad.
Yeah.
Not Dakota. We gotta look for Brad.
You've had
Yeah, there's-
some good views on there on your TikTok.
a few, yeah. There's one that kind of got a lot of them. I just did like a trend type thing, but
Well, how many views did you get?
I don't even remember
Why am
now.
I leaning forward? Do I need to be doing
It was
this?
a few hundred, maybe.
I'd say.
I thought it was a couple thousand.
Close, but
It might be
I
now.
really did. I thought it was.
It
a
might be
couple thousand.
now. I don't remember, but yeah, there's some days where I like my real name. Some days I don't. And most of the time I'm like, man, I don't like my name that much, so I just
Maybe,
go by
maybe I'll
Brad.
just switch to Brad.
Right, pretty much. But
Who's
yeah,
got that in your back pocket?
You get the occasional, man, you got a cool name. I'm like, you're my favorite person right now.
Hey, so you said that you used to write articles before you got into this. Showtime, what did you do before you started doing the Spoiler Alert Network
I
stuff?
didn't do anything. I mean,
okay.
I worked. I mean, I from what 2016 to 2000. Well, now I had 2 jobs, and I just worked all the time. So I didn't really have time for anything. So when he hit me with, "Hey, you want to come and help me with this project I'm working on?" I was like, "Well, fuck yeah."
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
this was your like first foray into
Yeah.
YouTube and making content and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
I had never done any kind of content, never been on camera, nothing before that.
Do you guys remember what the first thing you made was?
Yes. The first first time we were ever in front of a camera was Brad and Dilly, Dirt Sheet, were doing a series that we called, what the fuck was it?
It was the
Page
hype
to Screen? Or was it the Hype Train?
We were writing those as articles. We'll talk about that more later when we get more into it. But
the first video, though.
the first video we ever did, don't go watch it. It's cringe as fuck.
Everybody's first video is.
So we did. We called it the Hype Train. We have multiple different series on the main channel. Basically, the Hype Train. We started out as like a what would you call it? Sarcastic type video where we were talking about the Super Showdown show in Saudi Arabia. It was like a WWE thing, and we were just. It was just sarcasm mainly, and it just kind of grew from there. And then we got more serious after that. And
I thought the first video was you and Dirt Sheet doing the fucking Spider-Man video at your house.
No, we wrote those as articles on the Facebook page that we had going when we first started up. And
did we record that and then never post it? Is that what that happened?
we did, because there was like audio issues or something like that, so we just never ended up posting it.
So you mentioned the Facebook page came before the YouTube page.
Yeah.
Is the launch of the YouTube page what you call like your anniversary date?
Yes.
Okay.
When we started,
It's when we came together. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
When he asked me to start working with him is what I consider to be our anniversary.
We made an announcement on the Facebook page that we were a team effort now. We changed the name of the Facebook page, everything. So that was May 6th, 2019.
Okay,
So that was technically our anniversary.
That's when it became the Spoiler Alert Network?
Yeah.
Where did that name come from? I mean, I know. For people that have never heard the term spoiler alert, it's used whenever you're typically going to talk about a movie or a show or something like that, and maybe someone hasn't seen it yet, and you're trying to warn them, hey, I'm about to give away the ending of this movie or something.
Pretty much, yeah. So it was kind of a dumb idea on my part. I was doing it on my own. I was one guy with a laptop and shitty internet connection, pretty much.
Was it HughesNet?
What?
Was it HughesNet?
No. But, no, basically...
Laptops and shitty internet connections was a lot of us here in Lagodi, Indiana back in that day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, basically, I started up it was a review page. I was doing movie reviews, like I said. And so my idea behind it was, what are you going to get from this page? Spoiler alert, I'm doing reviews. Kind of a stupid idea. But
that makes perfect sense, though. Like,
yeah.
I totally get where it comes from.
It just sounds cringe. I think about it. But then when we came together as a team, this guy over here, we called him our nickname
guru.
That was what it was, nickname guru.
Yeah.
So he came up, he liked the word network. So it's like a group of entities coming together,
Right.
making something. So that's where Spoiler Alert Network came. It came from my original idea mixed with his ideas.
The network definitely sets you up to kind of be able to do
Branch
a lot
out,
of different things as
Brand
well.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. Back then, because we were going to have the Facebook articles and we were going to have YouTube videos, and I was thinking, well, if we're going to have these different outlets, then it should be like a network kind of thing.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when you started, you said you did just like the movie review kind of stuff. When did you start branching out into these other avenues like the comics and whatnot?
So once we came together, like I said, we were doing articles. We called it Page to Screen, was the title of the series. Basically, we would look at comic book characters like Spider-Man, Wolverine, etc., and then compare them to their on-screen counterparts.
Okay.
And, we would draw comparisons to where the inspiration came from the comics when they came on screen in the movies. And then from there, like Dirt Sheet, he's a huge, avid comic book fan, even more than I am. So we just went from there. We basically started doing comic book and anything nerd content. And as soon as we started doing YouTube, we wanted to be like a one-stop shop for everything.
Yeah.
Much. But
A place wherever you can go to and you can find all those different things there together.
yeah. But that's the thing with YouTube though. Like if you don't have a niche, I mean, you're never gonna really take off.
Yeah.
So
They don't like that variety.
yeah,
The YouTube algorithm does not like that. If you're not like in one group, then
That's a funny little challenge that goes into making content that I think kind of gets overlooked. When you start putting stuff out there, getting people to be able to find it, and you mentioned like the algorithms and keeping up with social media and stuff like that. Sometimes that almost feels like a second job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like aside from just trying to make the stuff.
Yeah. Like we had a Facebook page, we had a YouTube channel, we had a Twitter, we had an Instagram, we had a TikTok, we had We had another one, didn't we? Or was something else we had? Either way, we didn't use any of the shit. We used the Facebook page and the YouTube channel.
You sound a little bit like us.
We still have a Twitter
Yeah, we
out
have
there
all
somewhere.
those, but like we go through spells where we'll have stuff that goes out consistently, and then we'll get busy on a project and forget to take pictures to put up, or we might have work going on, but you don't have anything you can announce yet, and so you end up with this lull kind of period. It feels hard to keep up with all of it while you're trying to make all this stuff at the same time.
Yeah, we haven't posted on the main channel since June 2021, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Our main channel, we just kind of abandoned it a little bit.
For now.
For now.
Just kind of hiatus.
Yeah, we're working on the gaming channel mainly because, like I said, the niche.
I
I
wanna
trying
get-
to keep a focus. We moved to this gaming channel.
I definitely want to get to the gaming stuff here after we come back from the break. Before we move on, in conversations we had leading up to this, you mentioned a couple different things. One of them was creepypastas.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever do anything with those?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
For people that don't know what a creepypasta is that might watch this, can you explain creepypasta to people?
So, yeah, it came from the term copy pasta. I don't remember exactly what that's about, but...
I always thought it was just a typo from like copy paste.
No, it's... So if you go online, Reddit, or just on the internet in general, you got several different stories. You don't know, they could be true. It could be something that somebody just wrote for a creative like project or something. So it's basically just creepy stories.
Kind of like internet urban legends.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
exactly.
the modern day version of like sitting around a campfire telling ghost stories
Yeah.
or
Yep.
tall
And they
tales.
spread over the internet and they kind of develop this
Yeah.
life of their
They might
own.
evolve a little bit. They might change a little bit here and there, but
Some of them are really fascinating. You can kind of go down some rabbit holes with those.
Yeah, like if those are familiar, Jeff the Killer is a huge one. The Russian sleep experiment, we did a video
I just
on
read
that.
that one here a while
that's
back.
my-
I did
That's,
a video
that's
on
freaky.
that. I
We
did a video on the
on that,
Russian
yeah.
sleep experiment.
Yeah.
It was me. I did it.
It was him, yeah, not me.
Well, Brad edited it, but
Yeah.
In the early days of Austin and I's like recording days when we first started playing music outside of church and stuff, like we were into like the Rake and really, really into the Russian sleep experiment. We watched that video so many times and tried to like pick up little hints of maybe anything that could like show that there's some files that you could find on it or something.
Right, yeah.
I've been really, really involved and I've been really digging into the stories of the back rooms right now. And that's like one of my favorites, but there's tons of creepypastas out there. You just have to look for them. They're nuts.
There's one that I heard years ago. I think it's called The Enigma of Amigara Fault. You heard about that
not one
one?
I'm familiar
Yeah,
with.
I know that one.
Yeah, if you've not heard it, I'll send you a link to it or whatever. But that's a freaky kind of one, and it's done kind of like a comic book sort of style. I'm pretty sure it's illustrated, but it's kind of a freaky one.
No, I did 5 of them, but that's not one of them that I did. I did. What did I do? Do you remember?
You did.
I know I did the Russian sleep experiment. I did Squidward suicide.
Squidward Suicide.
Squidward Suicide.
Yeah.
The Red Mist, right? I think was what it was called.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
There were
you
3
did
more. I don't remember them, but
Eye of Ra, which is kind
Eye
of
of Ra, yeah.
it's kind of a vague one that not a lot of people have heard about. But, it's on our main Spoiler Alert Network page under the TSAN After Dark playlist
yeah.
is what we called it.
Okay.
So
name of that
anything
series.
like creepy, spooky related type stuff, we set it under the TSAN After Dark playlist, basically. It was a whole series we did.
It was something that he was super excited about doing that After Dark stuff. And then as we started doing it, I got into it myself. And
Right.
our most viewed video came from that playlist because we did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Dirt Sheet did a video on lizard people, like conspiracy theories
Yeah.
about lizard people. And that video had more views up until somebody put bots on our channel.
Oh no.
That was
That's like anytime nowadays you post something on Instagram and immediately you get 5 comments that's like promote it on this page.
that shit.
Yeah.
So Dirt Sheet did a video about lizard people, and it immediately got like 400 views over the course of like 4 or 5 months,
then
which is
grew.
more than anything else we had, and it
Yeah.
was like mind blowing to us.
So when you guys first started making YouTube videos and trying to put this content out, what were some of the challenges you guys ran into? Like you said, you guys hadn't really been in front of a camera up
Yeah.
until then. Had you ever like dabbled in any like video editing kind of stuff or audio kind of stuff?
Nope.
Just figuring it all out from the get go.
He taught himself basically video editing, and then he kind of gave me a few tips, and we both kind of picked it up. We would go back and forth editing videos and picked up from there. So
Taught myself video editing, taught myself graphic design. and we never made anything of it, but I taught myself how to do 3D modeling.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
planning on making animations for the channel, and then I just kind of got away from that too.
I played with that briefly years ago because years before we ever did anything like this on the podcast, I tried to start doing some of that with some friends. You know, like we did Let's Plays and we made a YouTube channel that's buried somewhere. Someone might end up finding that. But I think we only had 1 or 2 videos that we did, and it was us playing Worms, which is a fun party game. Sit around and drink a lot of beer and blow up your friends. But same sort of thing. Like you teach yourself some video editing. You figure out how to hook everything up. You get shit tons of cables and adapters and connectors and all that fun business.
Yeah, so on the shirt I'm wearing and on the main page and YouTube channel, I designed this logo. I went to college for graphic design, so that was kind of
Same.
That's right. Yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. We had like the same professors and shit.
Yeah.
But
They've been there forever.
yeah, no. So I did that, and then basically he taught himself how to do it, and almost every design you see after this one, that's all him.
Yeah, I did this one. I designed that one.
I like that one. That's
Yeah, I
cool.
really like
Yeah.
that. That's cool.
You can get this on our merch page if we want to talk about that now.
Yeah, what is that? We'll
It's-
we'll put up a little banner and we'll plug that here in the show.
Belowthecollar.com/TSAN. Or we also have another store on prowrestlingtees.com/TSAN, but we don't really put any shirts up there anymore. I think we got 3 shirts, that one and this one, and one more,
I don't know if we
the
can
new
see that.
TSAN Gaming logo that I also made on the belowthecollar.com/TSAN.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, we'll make sure we'll put all that in there so everybody can go find it and hopefully sell a few t-shirts for you.
Hope so.
Yeah.
We haven't. It's been a while since we sold one of us. Yeah.
I think this is the last one we sold.
Yeah.
The one I bought.
The one you buy. Yeah.
Had to buy my own shirt.
Hey, you got to do that for yourself sometime, you know?
Yeah.
You got to pay what you believe in.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Hey, so with all the various things that you guys have done with the Spoiler Alert Network, like, do you have a favorite series that you've done?
Yes.
Oh, that was a very quick yes.
He's like, yes.
We had a
Yes, I
series
do.
called Top 5 Discussions that we did, and we kind of got away from it because we don't like get together so much because I live an hour away.
Right.
He lives here, and then
Dirt
Dirt
Sheet
Sheet
is
lives
like
3 hours away
4 hours.
in
Oh, geez.
Indianapolis. Well, 2 hours away, whatever it is from here. And so we can't get together so much anymore, but we used to do Top 5 Discussions where we would all sit around and we would just talk about our top 5 things of whatever topic was on our mind at the time. We've done top 5 gaming moments, top 5. We did a lot of top 5 wrestling stuff when I could get Dirt Sheet to come down to my house. We got together and did 3 months worth of top 5 wrestling stuff. Me and Brad have done, one of our first videos was top 5 Assassin's Creed games.
Yep.
That was fun.
That's like my favorite
But it's
video
always
game series. I got it tattooed on my
Oh,
arm.
okay,
nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
So I don't know if we can see that on the camera, but you know. Yeah, that was one of my favorite game series of all time.
I remember when that first came out, got that on the, it was on 360 when it first came out, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Because I have Assassin's Creed 1 for 360. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was my favorite series because it's the same shit that we do. Like we have a group chat and we just talk about our favorite shit all the time. So
It was
doing
basically
on camera.
Yeah, it was basically podcast style like this. We'd sit down
Right.
and we'd list our favorites. We'd talk about why. Then we'd at the end of it we'd talk with each other. You know, final thoughts, why we chose what we chose. You know,
Honorable mentions.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a top 5. You don't get fucking honorable mentions.
Well, you know, sometimes you can't squeeze them all
It's
into
a top
5.
5.
You got to make some tough decisions, man.
no participation trophy.
Our fucking Assassin's Creed. Our Assassin's Creed video was supposed to be a top 5, and he had 3 fucking honorable mentions. So he had a top 8, like it was fucking MySpace or something.
That's all
Oh
right.
my God. Rest in peace.
Rip MySpace Tom. I don't think Tom's dead. Just MySpace is.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But yes, top 5 discussions was my favorite series. What was yours?
Brad, do you have a favorite?
That was as far as getting together and doing the content. That definitely had to be it. As far as researching and doing the actual recording, video editing, had to be everything we did with TSAN After Dark, like the creepy stuff. So. Like we said, we kind of took a hiatus from the main channel, but I'm looking to get back into some of that stuff, like the dark stuff and some of the comic book based stuff eventually after we're we're working on a bunch of gaming stuff right now. So
Yeah, you mentioned that that's kind of what you guys have been putting a lot of your main time into here lately. So we're going to take a short break. We'll come right back, and we'll dive into the TSAN Gaming side of stuff. How about that?
Sounds good.
Stay tuned. If you want to support the Conscious Effort podcast, you can go to consciouseffortcreative.com, click on shop, and get your very own effort t-shirt. And if you use code CEPOD at checkout, you can save 25%. That's the letter C, the letter E, pod, for 25% at checkout. Shop now, consciouseffortcreative.com. And now, back to the show. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning back in. We're going to get started here. We're going to talk about some of the gaming stuff now. Your guys' second channel that you've been spending a lot more time on here. Again, you want to plug that real quick? It's the TSAN Gaming on YouTube?
yeah, TSAN Gaming. I think there's an underscore in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's TSAN Gaming.
Yeah.
So when did you guys start doing the second gaming channel?
A few months ago?
Yeah, it was a few months. It was fairly recently, yeah.
Did you do anything gaming on your previous channel prior to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, one of the things that Brad wanted to do when we first started the TSAN was that he wanted to do a Retro Vault series where we looked back. Well, we call it Retro Vault, where we go back and we play games from the past, where we can have that nostalgia.
Yeah.
Mostly
Right.
N64.
Mostly N64 stuff.
We were just talking earlier. I collect N64 games. I'm in a
Yeah.
N64 super group there on Facebook.
There you go.
So that's what I've been spending all my time doing, going back replaying my old 64 games and trying to find the games that I used to rent as a kid but never actually owned.
There you go.
Yep.
Yep.
Do you guys have like a favorite game of yours off of that console?
Super Mario 64. Every time.
That's always a great one.
It's one of the best games ever made.
Have you ever played Conkers?
Conker's Bad Fur Day?
No.
I never
Okay.
played it. I had it when I was a kid, but I didn't play it.
I've been trying to tell so many people that they need to play it at some point because it's like Crash Bandicoot or like I don't even know what else you could compare it to, but it's like one of those things. But it's just drug and sex and alcohol.
I would
like,
call it
just
like Dirty
fuel.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah,
It's made by the same people.
Made by Rare?
Yeah, made by Rare. Also, the same people that did Donkey Kong 64. So it's got that
Yeah.
open world,
Yeah.
roam around sort of thing.
It is wild, dude.
Yeah, but it's all just like it is. It is just like the tagline of the show. The entire game is rude, crude, and socially unacceptable.
Yep.
Yeah,
I understand why my parents would not let me drink that when I was a kid.
it's disgusting.
The whole premise of the game is he wakes up with a massive hangover, and he's trying to get home.
He's trying to get his money too, I think, because he loses it.
Yeah, something like that.
Because you have to collect money throughout the time frame, and like you have to have so much money to be able to get into different levels, I think, or something.
Yeah, I
So it's
don't.
almost like the Hangover before the Hangover.
Yeah, but if you were a squirrel.
Fucking
Yeah.
squirrely.
And you have to go around like help
Hero.
bees and like flowers. You have to help like other
The
squirrels.
flower just really, really wants to be pollinated,
Yeah,
and the bee would like to pollinate that flower.
yeah. So there's so much, man.
I'm
The
going to have
flower has a couple big buds.
There you go. Next
Yeah.
project. There you
There
go.
we go. That'll be our next Retro Vault video.
Yep. Crazy.
When
crazy
did that
game.
come out? That
The 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Late 90s, maybe. It may have came out in 2000, but yeah, probably somewhere around 99-ish, be my guess.
never heard of it. But that's not
The 64 came out, what, 96, right? 90. Because I feel like Super Mario 64 came out in 96. I'm pretty sure
It came out whenever it launched.
Right.
I just looked this up a while back because I started replaying Super Mario 64, and my earliest memory of playing N64 was when there was a video store here where the Los Bravos is now.
Yeah.
And back then it was called...
American Video.
No, before that it was called Bogies.
I remember hearing
Bogies.
Yeah.
stories about that.
It was
place.
called Bogies, and you could rent an N64. And my mother had gone on like a church trip, so it was just me and Dad. And so we rented a Nintendo for the weekend, and the only thing it came with was Super Mario 64, and we had 2 controllers, and neither of us knew how the hell you played the thing. So that was what we spent the weekend doing, trying to like, you got to race the Koopa guy up the mountain or whatever, and then trying to figure out how you pick up and throw the big Bobbin King and stuff like that. It was my first memory of Nintendo 64.
That's not a bad first memory.
Yeah, I know. It's
a
great.
fantastic
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I think you're right, though, because my sister was born in 97. And so whenever we had the Nintendo that we rented, she was not born yet. So it had to have been either like late 96 or early 97, whenever that came out.
I'm glad to be right about something for once.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah, you played through pretty much the whole game. What you got to however many stars
Yeah, I
was
did,
the goal, basically.
Yeah, I think I did 105 stars, so I did everything except for the 100 coins because I didn't want to go through and do that on camera. That just sucks.
Right.
Yeah, but I did all the other stars. I didn't do the 100 coins on every level.
Yeah, we actually started that series on the main channel, and then once we started the gaming channel, we kind of floated it over to the gaming channel, and
We even re-uploaded the videos.
yeah, we re-uploaded
Oh,
the
okay,
first
yeah.
like 4
nice.
episodes or 3 episodes or whatever. So
I think that's a 16-part series. Is that right?
close. Yeah,
I can see that because there's a
something
lot
It's
of
10 part series.
yeah, it is 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
that makes sense. There's like it's like 15 different.
Yeah, there's 15 levels.
Yeah.
But instead of doing one level for every video, I did a time limit, like 45 minutes.
Okay.
One of our top fans, my best friend Jaybird, he told me that he would prefer the videos to be longer. So I went with the 45-minute video because I was making them like 7 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, yeah, this sucks. I want more of it. So,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so that's what we started with. One of my favorite games in like junior high school, even though it was expensive, was World of Warcraft. So I did a few playthroughs of that.
And that was on PC, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I did you get multiple different characters, races, whatever, choose from. So I did a few different characters that I started and just kind of screwed around on there basically. And that's the second series we came out with on the gaming channel.
Yeah.
How many series have you guys done so far on your gaming channel?
Gaming
4.
wise,
I want to say 4.
Yeah.
We did Mario.
Yeah,
You did World of Warcraft. And you got the Skyrim series, which I'm excited to talk about that.
we'll talk about that. Yeah,
And
that's a big one.
Tony Hawk series, which I just wrapped up Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 recently.
I played that a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My-
My
want Tony Hawk.
my like biggest memory of that game is that was it the band called Goldfinger?
Yep.
That did like the I can't think of the name of the song. It's a ska.
Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kicks in like right at the very beginning. You go down like the big ramp, and I think you crash through a window or something like that. Whenever you go
We got
into
a
it's like it's a
copyright
warehouse
claim for that.
level.
Yeah, we got a copyright
Every
claim for
time.
that song.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that
that's
the-
my memory of that.
Is that the game that has 96 quiet? Or
No,
quiet
that's on
beans?
Tony Hawk 3.
Okay,
That's
it's
on Tony Hawk 3.
Okay, I couldn't remember which one it was that I heard.
It's
that
also
on.
on Jackass the Game.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say because I remember playing Underground was the one that I was a really big fan of. I think it was on GameCube.
I had it on
wanna say.
PlayStation 2.
Oh, okay. So there must have been different versions
Yeah.
of it, but yeah, that was a really fun one. It was, That game creeped me out. Like the whole Neversoft intro of that was like
Yeah, they
really
did have
eyeball.
that. Yeah.
Well, this one it was like some skaters coming down this little alleyway, and it was engraved into my like memory ever since I first saw it. Because like I was over at a buddy's place and we was like really late. We weren't supposed to be playing video games, but we went ahead and like played it. And I was like, I haven't seen this one. This sounds Underground. This sounds really cool. What's it about? And he's like, well, let's check it out. And it's like it almost looks like found footage in a way, which makes it even like scarier. But it's like all black and white. This skater dude in a hoodie, whatever, kind of get up, ends up kind of running over this cat or something. Like jumps over it and he lands on top of this sewage pipe or like a manhole. Manhole like opens up into this like alien thing, and it just like takes him down, and he's like screaming guttural, whatever, like just bloody screams or whatever. And all you see is a bunch of these bones come out, and then the eyeball pops out, and then it becomes that, and I'm like, what did I just see?
You just unlocked the memory in my brain. I
didn't
forgot
even-
all about that.
I didn't even want to play the game because it like froze at one point. And he's like, "Oh, I'll have to restart." I'm like, nope, I don't want to see that anymore.
Hard pass.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned the Skyrim thing. Before we move on to that, I want to ask again about your Retro Vault. Were there other games besides Mario you guys did in your Retro Vault kind of series?
Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite N64 games. I actually never owned an N64. I went over to a buddy's house, played a bunch of different games, Gauntlet, whatever it was called. I don't remember what the N64
I hear
title
that a
was,
lot
but-
on the N64 Super Group, but I don't remember that as a kid.
It was Gauntlet Legends, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, when we first started the channel and doing YouTube in general, that's one of the things I was looking forward to doing the most was Pokemon Stadium, old N64 titles. So that was the first Retro Vault thing we did. So I did a few videos on that. That was the first thing we started with, and then, like I say, we moved to the gaming channel with everything as far as gaming goes.
Do you guys have a top 5 you ever did on your favorite N64 titles?
No, we didn't do that one. But however, Super Mario 64 was, I believe, number 1 on my top 5 games list. I think it was.
Yeah, I was like your number 2, number 1.
Top 5 game series. This is
Series is that's a running joke too. So I was recording a video. It was like an announcement video saying we were going to be introducing some new series, and I was just in the middle of recording. I go, we're going to be introducing a few new series.
Series.
Fuck.
That sounds like some shit I'd say.
Yeah.
Cut.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a running joke with us.
Yeah.
Putting multiple S's on the series. Yeah.
Nice.
But no, we never did a top 5
Yeah.
64 games.
I was
specifically.
disappointed. I was fully expecting a top 5 list
No.
with no honorable mentions.
That's my
Top
fault.
8, top
That's my
5.
fault.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched like Watch Mojo or channels like that, yeah, they have honorable mentions, and that's kind of where I was like, well, this came close to my list, but I'm like, honorable mention. Then he's like, that's like a fucking participation trophy, so
Yeah.
doesn't count.
That's the easy way out of not having to make any hard cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, moving on from there, what's some of the new stuff you guys got doing? I know you said the Skyrim thing was something you wanted to talk about.
We just finished up, as of recording this, we just finished up our Tony Hawk playthrough. He did. So the Skyrim series, it's a role-playing series, something I've never attempted before. When I was in high school, I played Skyrim for the first time. I was hooked into the story. So basically, from there, I've always been like a writer. I've always wrote fiction. I wrote comic books when I was in high school. So I started a fan novel, basically, based on the Skyrim lore and the world of the game. Made my own protagonist. Followed kind of the main story of the main campaign of Skyrim, if you will.
Yeah.
Which I have never completed still to this day.
Really? Yeah.
I always got lost in all the side quests.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take a lot of turns in that game from what I've heard. I've watched a buddy or two play that, and I'm just like, this isn't for me.
You know, you're doing the main shit, somebody walks up to you, hey, can you help me with this? And then you're on this whole other journey.
Yeah, before you
Right.
know it, like you've got this quest list that is this long. There's like 20 things to do, and it's like, in fact, it wasn't until my 3rd playthrough I ever finally went and visited the Greybeards, and I think that's like, I think that's like the first thing they tell you to do whenever you like actually start the main storyline is
pretty much.
go up to the mountain and visit the Greybeards. And after 3 playthroughs, that's when I finally did it.
Yeah. Yep. So basically what I did in high school, I wrote a novel based on the main story, basically, and had all the outlines, the timeline, all that kind of thing written out. Never saw the light of day, never published it, anything like that. So when we started the gaming channel, I'm like, you know, this is gaming related, and I like creative type stuff. So
Right.
basically, I adapted the outline and the timeline that I wrote up years ago, like in, you know, junior year or whatever, and basically used the gameplay and the game engine to kind of make like a cinematic experience.
Kind of like a machinima sort of thing.
Kind of, yeah. And I did the voice acting for the protagonist and any extras. I'm not a professional voice actor by any means.
You did a very good job, though.
I
You did.
appreciate that.
That's a very, very ambitious endeavor.
Yeah.
Trying to imitate the like the Nord accent, you know, like the hey, you're finally awake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That guy, yeah. And that's basically what I based my performance off of, and
Right.
it gets kind of sketchy at times, but you know, I've been interested in voice acting and that type of thing too, so you know, I figured I'd take a crack at it. And so we have, as of now, I based it off of the series, it had several main titles. As of recording this, we have 3 main titles. We have book 1, book 2, book 3.
And these are based on what you've written?
It's based on what I've written. What I've written based off of my first couple playthroughs, basically, is where I came up with the inspiration and everything. So
you're like playing through the game, but to the story that you wrote.
Yes.
basically, yeah. So every dialogue choice, every inner monologue or whatever the protagonist has is basically what I wrote down.
That's
in
a
this outline,
very...
very
I'm trying to find the right word. I don't know, very meta way or whatever to try to approach a game. Like totally different perspective on it.
unique. Yeah.
It's like completely dropping into the character, and he is playing as the character.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's so good. It's my favorite thing we've done.
So that brings up an interesting question. Whenever you play role-playing games and you have like the dialogue choices or whatever, do you ever find it hard to like be mean to the
Yes.
NPCs?
Yeah.
Like even though...
That would be the easy part for me.
Yeah, Kyle would not have any problem with that. But even though, like in a normal playthrough, you're not necessarily trying to like play it to a story in your mind, you still end up kind of taking on a little bit of the character. And like I said, some stranger walks up and asks, "Oh, do you have time to help me?" You find it really hard to say, "No, man, bug off."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't be mean to people.
I
can't.
know it's so hard.
Yeah.
I've made several characters on there just in casual play, trying to be like the villain or evil type of character, and I do it for about maybe an hour, and then I'm like, eh. So
The only bad thing I've ever done was in Fallout 3. I blew up Megaton. You guys ever play
yeah.
Fallout?
I never owned any of them. Well, that's not true. I bought one for PC, and I don't think I ever took it out of the package and even
So
played
unfortunate.
it. Yeah,
Fallout is the best series.
I rented Fallout 3, and then there's one of them back during quarantine. I bought on sale on the Xbox Live Marketplace sort of thing. And man, playing Fallout in the middle of the pandemic is a very weird feeling. It like totally changes your perspective on the gameplay, because like the game itself is very not miserable, but it's like very isolated. Like you wake up and you come out of the vault after the nuclear war or whatever, and it's just you and a few other stragglers, and you're just wandering around trying to survive, and you're thinking like, yeah, this actually slightly resembles the city streets right now. It's very, very unnerving.
All right.
vacant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that weird Silent Hill thing. You step outside and there's just nothing going on, just the birds chirping, the fog.
Yep.
So what else you guys have on deck on your gaming channel?
Kind of a matter of debate right now. Now we're thinking about Conquerors, I guess.
Yeah.
Please to God do that. That'd be awesome.
Well, my wife has
Just for
suggested. My wife has suggested Resident Evil.
Yeah.
You guys are
Yeah.
suggesting Conquers. So it'll probably be one of those two. Next for me on the Retro Vault side, Brad's going to keep on going on his Skyrim stuff.
For sure.
The Book of the Dragonborn.
Had you played any of the Elder Scroll games before Skyrim? Or was that your first introduction to it?
There's actually a video on the gaming channel that kind of explains my background with Elder Scrolls. I was in junior high, high school, whatever, and all my friends were talking about Oblivion. It's the best game ever, you know. And
I remember
I was like,
Oblivion.
eh. And then Skyrim came out in 2011, and I was like, meh.
Yeah.
And then once I finally jumped into it, it was a year later maybe, and then I'm like, man, it's fucking, yeah. So Skyrim was my first Elder Scrolls game, and then I went back, played Oblivion, went through some of Morrowind. So ever since then, I've been a massive fan of the entire series.
I remember when Skyrim first came out, you mentioned like 2011 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it never occurred to me that game's been out for over a decade. But that's one that you feel like you can play forever. At least I do.
That was the main motivation for me to start the roleplay series, was the 10th anniversary, basically. So I was like, it's been out for 10 years. People are still playing it daily.
Yeah.
The modding community is crazy for it.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was a whole, like now you pull up the game, even on Xbox, there's a section where you can go like add in mods that, I don't know what they do, like change the I don't know if they changed the skins or what. I've never dabbled in it.
There's one where you can change all the dragons to Macho Man Randy Savage, and it's the best. It's my favorite.
I hope they fly down and they go, ooh, yeah.
They do. Most of them have a little audio mod, so they say, "Oh yeah."
For every fireball, there's another. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
There's one of the more popular ones is what Thomas the Tank Engine. Every dragon is fucking.
I have seen that video online, and that's creepy as fuck to me.
Dun, 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 dun. Dude, what the
Right?
fuck?
Yeah.
You said that?
Yeah.
That's like engraved in my head. My son, whenever he was young, he was really big into Thomas. So it's like
I watched Thomas the Tank Engine as a kid.
Yep.
I watched this. I was watching. I get into Markiplier a lot whenever I'm just watching whatever, and if I have like
Big brain
20 like 30 minutes to kill, I'll just watch like his 3 Scary Games like series. I love it so much because like even the really shitty ones that he plays are so good. Like there's one where you have to like get away from Thomas the Killer Engine, and the first whole level you have to get through this door, but you have to figure out what the code is, and you have to run through this maze of all these tunnels, but they all like conjoin with other ones, and depending on where you are, he comes from other angles, so you have to figure out which direction he's coming from, and it's like one of the most anxiety-ridden things I've ever seen. Like watching it, let alone playing it.
Have you ever seen the mods that people will do? I don't remember whether it was for Resident Evil or Silent Hill, but they will change the characters, like the bosses or whatever, to like Barney. So like the whole time, like Barney's stalking you, trying to murder you while there's a bunch of zombies running around, or they'll change them to like Teletubbies or something like that, and it's really, really unsettling.
Yeah, I saw those mods when the new Resident Evil came out. I saw those videos on Facebook where they were changing this character, Mr. X, into like these big, huge characters. Yeah.
It's very, very weird.
I almost didn't want to play after Mr. X came into it because I'm like, God, I don't want to be chased around by this guy. I don't like whenever like things are. I don't care if something's like walking at me because I can always go away. I just don't like whenever it's like when it turns really quick and it's like I just don't like it.
On that
So
note,
you don't like jump scares?
Jump scares don't bother me as much as they used
bother
to.
me.
But
On
it's
that
just the
note-
idea of something like just boom.
did you ever play Slender Man back in the day? That
never
one's
did.
another freaky kind of one.
Yeah.
So I played that with a gal I was dating at the time, and I'd seen a couple of guys on Rooster Teeth. It was a PC game, and one did the keyboard and one did the mouse, and you're like kind of tag teaming it. So one controls where you move, the other one controls where you look. And I don't know if you're familiar with Slender Man, but
I've seen it played.
He was based on a creepypasta. Actually.
yes,
Yeah,
I was wondering earlier, we were talking about creepypastas, if Slender Man
He
came from a
originated it.
creepypasta. Yeah,
He's definitely one of the biggest like culture ones of
He
them
just,
all.
Yeah.
but he follows you everywhere you go, and if you turn around and you look at him for like longer than a couple seconds, then like you black out or whatever, and you lose, and you've got to go try to collect the notes, and they're like
pages or whatever,
the
yeah.
worst
Yeah,
thing in
pages.
the world is where you get to a dead end and you're like, fuck, I've got to turn around now, and you're like looking to see if he's there and he's not, and then the very next corner you walk around, boom, it's right there, and
Yep.
yeah, that'll make you jump out of your seat.
Yeah. That was whenever I first started getting into like horror game like esque stuff. Whenever that was like a really big topic, and then like Friday or Five Nights at Freddy's, it was a really big one that came out. Resident Evil did their like revamps of their games, which I never really played the original ones.
4 was the only one I ever really played.
Yeah, and they made the new ones, and I was like, oh, okay, I've heard about this series a lot. I know a lot of people that really liked this. I'm going to check it out. And then that's whenever I started really getting into it. But man, there's just some really shitty ones out there that are they're so entertaining. Like, I love it.
Are there any games that you guys have wanted to play but you feel like you kind of missed the boat on? Like its popularity is kind of coming past, and to do it now, just you feel like it's too late to do?
Yes. Well, not necessarily now, but when Payday 2, you guys remember
Oh
Payday
yeah, I
2?
used to play
yeah.
Payday 2 a lot with some friends.
By the time I was like had the finances to get into Payday 2, everybody stopped playing it.
Yeah, I had a tragic ending to my Payday 2. My computer, I had completely filled up the hard drive on it, and we played a lot and had our characters really built up. And whenever it tried to save after the last heist we did, it ran out of memory, corrupted my save file, and I had to restart over from zero. And I had no motivation to ever play it again after that, so I never did. But we had a lot of fun with Payday 2.
You ever had anything like that?
Pretty much every game ever. So like, yeah,
Like playing Skyrim 10 years later.
yeah. Like pretty much every game that comes out, I won't even get it till like 2 years later because I can't afford the console or whatever.
I do that a lot.
It's behind the ball on a lot of games. So, but I mean, it's all about your experience with it, enjoying it.
Unless that experience is like majorly online, and then you like go and get a game that you're super excited to play online, then the servers are fucking shut down.
Yeah,
right.
It's 12
and
years
if
old.
you're doing it for like us, like YouTube channel, and nobody's interested in it anymore, you get 1 or 2 views, you're like, yeah, that was pointless.
Yeah, nobody plays that game anymore or follows it online anymore.
Yeah, people don't want to watch Fortnite anymore. People don't want to watch PUBG anymore. It's all about...
Oh, you guys used to play PUBG.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we'd come to the studio, and one would be in here, one would be in the control room. They'd be playing PUBG, yelling at one another.
I wanted to get into PUBG, but again, same thing. I didn't get into it when it was hot. So
Right.
We've tried dabbling a couple different times into that sort of thing, and we talk about bringing it back up. We just never have done it yet.
I was telling them about our attempt to not starve. And that was like a really fun one of the one time we got to play it. I think it'd be really fun if we came back.
We might
and
have to
did it
bring
again.
back Don't Starve.
Yeah.
I still want to do Drawful and I want to do Fibbage. I want to do like a game night.
Oh, the Jackbox stuff,
yeah, the
right?
Jackbox
Dude, those
thing.
are so fun. That was like one of my favorite things in college.
Wait, I'm getting our cue here. We're running low on time. Is there any last thing you guys wanted to plug or wanted to hit before we head out?
we already talked about our merch site. I guess we'll drop it again. It's belowthecollar.com/TSAN. Buy our shirts, these here, and the one Brad's got on. Those are for sale over there, $19.99, plus taxes and shipping.
Price of $19.99.
Absolutely.
Say hi to TikTok.
Hello, TikTok. Hello, TikTok.
Of course, check us out on YouTube. The Spoiler Alert Network is our main channel, and then TSAN_Gaming is the channel that we're mainly focused on right now. Check us out on Facebook at the Spoiler Alert Network, and then Twitter's nothing anymore. Instagram's nothing.
No, just Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, like he said, the Spoiler Alert Network, TSAN_Gaming. I'm hoping to bring back the main channel with some of the content we had planned and didn't get around to. Just hoping to get that done here sometime soon after we get done with some of our gaming projects like the Skyrim and all that stuff. But definitely give us a like on our Facebook page, subscribe to our channels. We're posting usually every Tuesday on the gaming channel right now, so.
Very nice. I'm looking forward to digging into the Super Mario stuff and the After Dark things. I want to check
Absolutely,
those out.
yeah.
Put those on my list.
Definitely fun, yeah.
So I'm going to do right after this. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next time.